Before we do anything else, the first thing I want to do is make sure that with you right now, you have a copy of the speech to the convention on your desk and a highlighter and a pencil. If you don't have those things, you need to pause this right now and go and get those items. And I'll wait just a second for you to get it on your desk together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through identifying rhetorical devices inside of the speech. After we find the devices, then we're going to look at each piece and try to figure out what is being used with this specific device. So the first thing we want to do is we want to read. And when I'm trying to find a rhetorical device, I read and I look till something hits me as being familiar. Now, there are rhetorical questions in this. We know those based on question marks. Because a question mark is a pretty easy thing for us to find, I'm not going to go over that with you. So I'm going to look over the rhetorical questions. That doesn't mean it's not there. It means that it clearly is. And you see them, there's actually two. There's one here and one here, okay? I see the question mark in the speech. I know what that is. So that's as far as I'm going to go. But now I'm going to read the speech a little bit more, and I'm going to stop when I get to a rhetorical device and walk you through the process. After I've done that, then you are going to do it on your own, because this is one that I know are in here multiple times, and I know that there are some that we struggle with. So the first one is, let's go ahead and read this paragraph. Mr. President, it is natural to man to indulge the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. As soon as I read that line, I know something is up, because we're talking about a song of a siren and a beast that isn't really related to what this whole speech is about in a literal sense. So I know this must be figurative or in some way going outside of the immediate what it says. So I'm saying you're listening to the song of a siren. Now, most of you probably have already immediately realized what this is. I know of different versions of a siren. The first is a police, ambulance, or fire siren that goes woo woo, and people hear it and pull over. But it's not really a song. It's more of a screech. It's not very nice, and no one's ever turned into an animal or a beast from watching it. So I know that can't be it. So I've got to think. Now, it's something that's difficult. I know it's not comparing anything, so it can't be a metaphor. I know it's got to be probably based on this. It's maybe an illusion. So I'm going to go back and think, okay, hold on. What is an illusion? I know that an illusion is whenever you are referencing something else. They are biblical allusions that refer to biblical ideas and verses. You have literary allusions, historical allusions, social allusions, and you have mythological allusions. Now, a social allusion is just when you're referring to something that's going on in the world. Historical is, okay, something like I may reference a famous speech from Winston Churchill or an event that took place in the past that is well known, that's going to get my reader to think about something. A literary allusion is just an allusion to something that's already been written. For example, people love to reference Shakespeare. If you're reading a story and they start talking about, they put a quote in and it's clearly Old English, it is probably Shakespeare, all right? Because we love him. He was amazing. But I'm looking at this one. So listen to the song of the siren. And when I say literary or mythological, then alarms go off in my head. Because I remember reading the story of Odysseus. There was actually two examples of sirens in that story. The first was there was these three sirens in the ocean. And when you would hear their song, and it was beautiful, and they were very pretty, and when you saw them, you would be drawn to them. Well, there was actually rocks all around them, and when you got pulled to them, your boat was destroyed and you died. And in order to get past that, the men were all forced to, Odysseus had his men protect their ears so they didn't die. There's another example of this, and that was when they landed on the island of Circe, and the men met Circe, and based on music and I believe food, she transformed the men into pigs, and Odysseus had to rescue them. Now, do I have to know the complete story to get this? No. The important thing is that I recognize, hey, this is mythological illusion. This guy, or this is literary. This is talking about, and I get the point, because the point that they're trying to make here is that you're so willing to accept that, this, what the government or the British are saying is true, that you're just listening to them and you're closing your brain and you're just letting them, this illusion cause you to not be diligent, and so therefore you're going to allow something to destroy you because you're not thinking this through, you're being controlled. And he can say all that, which is a lot to say, by just saying the song of the siren transforms us into beasts. So he's pulling all that off by one little statement, and that's the beauty of an illusion. Now there are multiple illusions in this text. I want you to find at least one. So you're gonna stop this video, or I'm gonna stop. Find one illusion, highlight it. Go ahead and you're gonna go ahead and off to the side. You're gonna what's what I'm looking for? Oh, label it as that, and then we're gonna go back and we'll find another one together. So go.